So, chaos shamanism, that's not something that you can build a body of knowledge about. It's the opposite. You build an edifice of not knowing, a deep foundation in yourself of not knowing. It's paradoxical, but it's when we know, or we think we know, that we limit ourselves. Gnosis, knowing. It's really about not knowing and what wanders into us. Wisdom wanders in when we're not fixed about what we know. I've seen it sometimes. People quoting all this stuff from Native American cultures. They're English, yeah. English as they come, but they're identifying with Toltec or something like that. And they come out with all this stuff. And you can see it makes them think they know something. It's giving them an identity. And any kind of path is about the opposite of that, the real path, the inner path. Same with practices. We spend all these years doing all these practices. They're going to take us somewhere. You know, I've done 20 years meditation, so I'm actually quite advanced. Yeah. And then you realized, oh, there was never anywhere to go. All I ever had to do was just be with how I am now and be comfortable with that, whatever it is. Just be with it. Just be close to myself and don't judge it. Don't try and make it better. But it can take, this is why they say the best is the enemy of the good. Yeah. Because the good, you're trying to become better. Yeah. Whereas the best, you've dropped all of that. You're just comfortable with being you. Like the lion, king of the jungle. You just sit there. You're at ease just with what you are. So, knowing. There's something that Louis Malmadrona says. He's a sort of Cherokee Lakota guy, also a conventional doctor. He says, in a kind of traditional indigenous society, most people will have a fairly simple set of beliefs about how the world is. And it's only the medicine people who realize that actually we know nothing. It's all a great mystery. But that's where their power comes from, because they're not standing in the way with their beliefs. So he talks about this in the context of postmodernism. Postmodernism, the modern philosophy that says there are no absolute truths, which I think has a lot going for it, because in a way there are no absolute truths, but there is objective truth. There is relative truth. Yeah, that is a cat. That is a man. Well, we no longer know what men and women are, do we? Even that's breaking down. But no, there is objective truth about all those things. But ultimately, it's just words. Space and time, even, are just things we attribute in order to make sense of our experience. All of it is unknown and unknowable. And so postmodernism fits very well with being a kind of medicine person or some kind of healer in that sort of way, because you are doing this dance in the sort of flow of uncertainty. And that means spirit can speak through you fully. You're not standing there with these ideas about how things are or what power animal ought to turn up or trying to subtly bolster your identity as a healer because you want to be taken seriously, you know, all that sort of thing. You're just not going there. And so it's perennial. What I took from that is it's perennial. It's not like indigenous people were somehow magical and spiritual and we're the ones who've lost it all. It's like, well, yeah, there are things they have to do with belonging to the natural world and respecting it. Yeah? But ordinary humanity functions just the same amongst indigenous people as it does with us. You know, most people have a fairly simple set of beliefs about how the world came to be. Modern day, we have the same. Yeah, you had the Big Bang, then you had the evolution of the star systems, and then life came, and that had evolution, and here we are. We've got this simple story. Yeah, but of course, it's not like that. if you look closely, it's full of holes of unknowingness that aren't just gaps in scientific knowledge. They're bigger than that. They're more profound than that. If you look at any theory, it's like that. There's profound unknowingness that we just sort of sidestep. So what came before the Big Bang? We don't know. It's an absolute mystery. Yeah. People just, they don't really look at it. What came before the Big Bang? They're not really looking at, well, it's before time, so you can't say anything. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. But it means actually you can't know. It's the great mystery. Scientific theorizing has brought you to the brink of the great mystery. How wonderful. But we want to know. We don't want to not know. That's why Socrates was the wisest man in Athens, because he was the only one who knew that knew nothing. That is the situation. So chaos shamanism is about knowing nothing and having the psychological, existential wherewithal, strength, foundation to do that. Chaos shamanism, in that sense, is always for a minority. Most people will need some sort of set of beliefs to hang on to. And we do need those beliefs. Well, we need the stories at any rate. Because however much we are aware that they're provisional, they still feed our imaginations. They delight our imaginations. I was just looking at one, I think, Californian Indian creation story. In the beginning was just water. I can't remember how it went from there, but they needed earth, and a turtle turned up. A turtle just floated along. And so he's asked, well, we need some earth. The turtle says, tie a rope to me and I'll go down to the bottom of the ocean and I'll get some earth. So he went and got the earth. And so then they created some earth and land. And so it goes from there. And that nourishes me. It feeds me. And in a way, it goes more deeply in me because I'm not trying to set it in stone. It's a story and therefore it's true. It's a truth of the imagination. And yes, there's also other stories. So the Greek myth, which is where chaos comes from, it was this vast abyss of nothing. So in a way, there wasn't even the water, or there wasn't even just God at the beginning. There was just the vast abyss about which nothing can be said. And there's a deep truth in that because that is how it is. And then out of that, well, stuff did come. We know that. And we're not given any reason why stuff came. Because there isn't a reason, not in rational terms, because order is just our rational understanding of things. So I think a good creation myth keeps us close to that. Well, they're all good. They're all great stories, yeah. But I'm just making the point about the Greek one is it keeps us close to that unknowingness. And the unknowingness is the place we need to live from. Not knowing who you are. Well, in a way, yes and no. We need to know who we are in terms of what calls us, what we're pulled towards, what we've learned. But an identity, asked at a drinks party, who are you? You know, and most people have got a simple identity, yeah? They'll say, I've got this job, I've got this house, I've got this wife, these children, and that's fine. That's a regular kind of identity. But of course, it's not really who you are. So when people kind of stress identity and how important it is to them, and you have to respect my identity, yeah, it's like, no, just get over it. Yeah. I'm not going to, you know, tread on eggshells around your racial identity, yeah, your blackness, your whiteness, or your sexual identity. None of that. It's not an identity because an identity, in that sense, is a member of a group. You're defining yourself by your group membership. And we're so much more than that. Of course, we belong to certain cultures, and it's important to recognize where we belong. But beyond that, beneath that, actually, we have this profound, unknowable connection to everything. And that's where we need to live from. And our identity just gets in the way of that. So get over it.